Hi, this is Steve Cady with Nexus for Change. Faith and I are taking you through a training program, Module 1, and this is the Collaborative Change Training Program. And it's focused on building the internal change leadership capacity at SSOE, integration of respect for people, and continuous improvement. So let's look at what is collaborative change. Collaborative change is defined as the achievement of mutually desired outcomes through the purposeful experience of sharing among two or more people. I'd like to focus on a couple things here for you. First is this notion of mutually desired outcomes. Second is purposeful experience. And third is the word sharing. So when people come together intentionally, purposefully to share, and they share in order to achieve mutually desired outcomes, that's the essence of collaboration. And the notion of sharing of resources, sharing of ideas, sharing of power, whatever it might be, people are sharing, and they're doing it intentionally with a purposeful experience. It's not happenstance. So collaborative change is intentional. It is a planned experience, a planned process for engaging two or more people, two or more departments, two or more teams, stakeholder groups, whatever it might be, bringing them together purposefully to achieve some mutually desired outcomes. And again, the operative word there is sharing something in order to achieve that. Now, there's a traditional approach to change. Project management is change management. The difference is when you look at how the field has emerged over the last 10 years in terms of change management versus project management. Change management has really focused on communication, a one-to-many, creating a message that helps the project to be understood, to help sell that project, and to compel others to adopt, to understand, and to move the project forward. Collaborative change at the top there of the pyramid, as you see, when it's done in this fashion, this traditional approach, project management, you determine the project, you direct people to implement it, it moves into this one-to-many communication, and then you have this oftentimes after the fact collaboration, where there's restarts and resets, engagements that are done because people needed to be engaged, caught up, involved in the process, help design after the fact, after some issues have come up. So the traditional approach is not necessarily the optimal approach. And the reason being is that piece over here on the left side where it talks about system one thinking. System one thinking is this notion of how our brains work. And we have these two areas of our brains for making decisions and how we work and do things. System one level thinking is the back of our brain, the base of our brain, and that's the more instinctive area where we are reactive and unconscious. And people want to move quickly. That's why there's a lot of getting things done, but then people ask, well, why are we doing this? You ever been to a meeting where people said, why did we just do that? Because we just went in and talked about a bunch of stuff, yet we may not have been aware of the why. And the why needs to be answered in order to have an intentional, purposeful experience that utilizes teams wisely. And I always say, and we say this, only do together, live, either online or in person, what you could only do together. Don't do things that you could otherwise do when you're together. Okay? That means if you can review materials, if you can come ready, and then you can dive in and have a working session, that's the best use of people's time when they come together. So here's the thing. When change is done in this traditional way, it usually moves in the direction of trying to create buy-in. How do you sell it? So it's that directed implementation. Communicate a message from one to many people, trying to get them to buy into the solution, and then you try to get people to work together to implement it in a collaborative fashion, yet they didn't get there with you, so you sort of left them behind, and you got to catch everybody up, causing restarts and resets. So the traditional approach can work to a degree. Sometimes it is forced, and it has to be controlled in order to make it work to some degree of success. However, flip it, and let's move to the new era of change. which brings in the concept of collaboration. The collaborative approach to change flips it on its head. Whereas in the first model, you were going fast to go slow, meaning you went fast first, got started, got moving, and then you found yourself having to slow down to catch people up. So you go fast to then end up having to go slow. And a lot of wasted time and a lot of restarts and a lot of redos and things like that. Flip it. Move into this notion of going slow first to go fast. That is, start with collaborative change. Start engaging people up front. Have an intentional design process to co-create solutions and innovate. Then you move into change management, which gets into strategic communication, where you are engaging people in more of the two-way. You're creating invitations for people to be a part of a process, to be a part of designing the solution. You have a pre-change, a change, and a post-change. You have a three-step process that you invite people into. Once you get the change designed and you begin implementing the change and inviting people and co-creating that solution in the process, it becomes a coordinated implementation. So here's the interesting thing. If you start here at the bottom with collaborative change and you go slow at first, you'll move towards project management where you go fast without restarts and redos, and you move towards the area of ownership as opposed to buying. This is system 2 level thinking, where you are moving to the front part of your brain. You can engage your whole brain in this way using this approach, because system 1 and system 2 work together. And when you move to a system 2 level using your executive function, is what it's called, the front part of your brain, it's more deliberative, it's proactive, and it's conscious. It's a planned, intentional approach to leading the change. So collaborative change sets the stage for the new era of leading in our organizations and communities. Whether we're transforming the organization, whether we're revitalizing a community or developing human potential, collaboration, collaborative leadership, collaborative change is the next generation approach to leading. So welcome to the Collaborative Change Leadership Training Program. What you're stepping into is an applied learning experience that will enable you to more confidently and competently lead change. It will enhance your change toolkit as you learn to collaboratively implement a variety of projects, large or small, focused on continuous improvement and respect for people. Here's the thing with this program we want to say to you. We believe you are talented, capable, and care about doing your best and want to improve. This program offers you a safe space to try leading-edge tools, receive feedback, ask questions, learn from others, and share what you know. So the learning mindset you bring is a growth mindset. We know that you're capable of bringing that in. We invite you to intentionally choose a growth mindset as you come into this learning experience, where you see trying things out and failure as an opportunity to grow, where you can learn to do anything you want, where the challenges help you to grow, where your effort and your attitude determine your abilities, where your feedback is constructive, where you're inspired by the success of others as they share with you and you all work together, and you like to try new things. We're looking forward to our first session, and as we embark on it, we'll cover this in the module. In the Change Leadership module, we'll cover the case for collaborative change, principles of amazing change, standout change, balancing the seesaw that we'll talk about, change approaches, System 1 and System 2, which I just shared with you, and the intentional intervention process. To prepare for Session 1, what we'll do is you will watch a video, read these 2 short articles, Amazing Results in Collaborative Change Leadership,